Hey everybody, we're back, ready to continue Sands of Time. Oh yeah, I was supposed to look up like where the thing is. Give me a second. Alright, looks like I missed it. Yeah, well. I thought it was just ahead, looks like no, it was earlier in the game. So what I was thinking of is, once you get the sword that can break walls, there's a wall later on that doesn't look breakable, but you can break it, and doing so unlocks the original Prince of Persia to play. Well, it looks like I missed it, so, yeah. Anyway. Attack me while I'm on a ledge. Of course they are. Cool. I don't know why you need this many. What's there, 6 so far? Six birds. No need for that many. It just draws it out, and that's one of the problems this game really has of just drawing those things out. 6 birds, too many. Like 2 would have been enough. Gets the point across. Alright. Go. Think back on this and like how it was such a big epic adventure. Like, it's amazing just how short it is when you really get down to it. Arabs. I think part of the issue with like increasing the length of combat encounters is they do it to try and compensate. It's like the swords you get several swords as you go through the game and get stronger. Not entirely noticeable yet, because that's still taking 2 hits to kill the scarabs. Like, the swords do get stronger, and I think part of why they start making the combat encounters longer is the swords do start doing more damage. But the problem you have with that is that the combat still works the same way. You still have to knock enemies down. It doesn't really matter how strong the sword is. No, that can't be right.
Whoa.
Can it?
Whoa.
Hmm.
Whoa.
Orderly, goddammit. Oof. Barely. Hmm. Alright. Let's go get a health upgrade. I don't remember if the swords you get in Warrior Within do actually increase your damage with every sword you get. One thing the game does tell you is that they add an extra hit to your combo, to your standard combos, with each of the new swords. The better swords you get. So the water sword, the special sword you get for doing all of the life upgrades, that is specifically required to face the true final boss. Yeah, here we go, into the caves.
Oh, have you been waiting here all this time? I didn't realize you meant these baths. I went to the other baths, clear across the other side of the city. I had a lovely wash and a rub with fragrant oils. Too bad you weren't there. Stop talking to yourself!
Scarabs. This is the camera angle, that one looked kind of huge for a second. Always more just coming in from off screen. Come on. There we go. It seems slower than normal for some reason. Right, and off we go. Yeah, this will work. One thing that comes up every now and then that you won't see so much if you watch somebody who knows how to play the game already. And you won't see if you watch somebody who already knows how to play. When the prince's shoes are wet, he can't wall run. Yeah, you won't see that so much if you're watching somebody play it who's already played it before, because they'll be aware of that. But if you're watching somebody play it for the first time, you'll probably see them discover it and then forget it a couple of times. There are a couple of platforming sequences kind of built around that, trying to get to a point where you can all run without being in the water. There's one coming up, actually, which I think we get to before we get to the back.
Done. I'll start the story
Right?
from here next time.
Yeah, there's like a whole sequence built around circumnavigating that because like the entire floor is covered in water. I enjoy those little sequences where they go quick. Oh no, the platform's collapsing. Better do some baby complex platforming quickly. I like that. Tension it out. Yep. And then the bats show up, and they don't add any tension at all. They just time. Yep. There we go. That wasn't too bad.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
Alright, now start making our way up, I think. Correction. Oh, you know me, Teak. Always walking fast. How you doing, buddy? Let's go. Crazy busy? You almost done with it? It's off. pretty busy. Noon, so no. That's fair enough. Wait a minute. There we go. No idea where this water comes from, or even if it's fresh water, just gonna drink it anyway. There we go, the sewers. I should be due for my COVID booster soon, actually. I had my second shot in July, I think. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff to get done in 4 hours.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
Hey, come on, get it. Go on. So our entire objective here is to... specific point we need to... There it is. We need to get to that rope. Climb out.
Whoa.
Biggest time wasting. Fine, don't need to worry about it. Round. Right, go back.
Whoa.
That wasn't totally against physics. Alright. Remember rightly, I think. There might be another life upgrade around here. Yeah, it's fine. If you're going to ask questions like that, Seek, you got to remember that the reason these murder traps are even active is because the prince turned them on. Yeah, murder traps can be great when you're not the one going through them. Hey, doing Titanium. Welcome back, buddy. Shoes, there we go. Climbing up this was our objective all along. I think going through here gets us a life upgrade. What's a sand cloud? Yay. And you're just gonna... In. There we go. More health. Get out of here. Gentlemen. Physics betrayed me. So you were talking about the remake earlier, Titanium. One thing I do like about what they've shown of that, like I think they've changed all the voice actors with voice actors who are of the right ethnicity. With the exception of Yuri Lowenthal, who they've brought back to play the prince. Sand demon, you son of a gun! How was the wife? Yeah, they're supposed to be doing like whole new voice recordings for it. I say they're bringing Yuri Lowenthal back as the prince, and using, I think, ethnically appropriate voice actors to cast, which I guess mostly means Indian actors. Because when you get down to it, there's the three actual characters in the game: the prince, the vizier, and Farah. Do you mind? I'm not moving the camera. So yeah, with the prince being voiced by Yuri Lowenthal still, the Farah and the vizier are both Indian. And there's King Shahraman, who would be Persian, which I guess would mean like Iranian in the modern day. That's what I'm like. King Shahraman would be the only Persian whose voice, aside from the prince, like an Iranian voice actor, I guess. And then there's the Sultan, and I don't even know what nationality the Sultan is supposed to be. I don't even know where this is supposed to take place, because it's not in Persia. Like, this is supposed to be King Shahraman and his army were passing through this area and brought the stuff they conquered from India as a gift to the ruler here. I don't even know where this is. Agrabah. I mean, we were basically just in the sewers. Plus, there was the thing I brought up in the caves, like, you don't know what that water is. Is it fresh water? No. It could ultimately just be water that pours in from, like, a nearby sea. Wait, sorry, Prince, it looks like you were drinking some contaminated water and now you have malaria. Diphtheria? No, not diphtheria. God damn it.
Farah? Are you there?
Hello?
There we go.
Is that you?
God
Here
damn.
I am. Farah!
Me? Going for a drink?
Stay there. I'll come to you.
Yeah, just kill you. You mind? Game's fucking with me again. Well, that's the problem I've always said, Sig. Like, there's too much combat, not enough combat variety. And in come more. Plus, the camera feels like it's just getting more and more unstable. And then here comes more. Well, that would imply the US government was ever stable to begin with titanium. Nah, but seriously. Good thing all this water doesn't slow me down. This thigh-high water. Yeah, I get that. Gotta do whatever you can to hold on to it, don't you? Yeah. Last one. Last one. That's fine. Like, he's just a well-hydrated guy. Very well hydrated. Remember there was a thing of like a radio show in the US that had a competition to see who could drink the most water and last without peeing? The winner died.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
Because, you know, you can't just drink a shitload of water.
Are you there?
I thought it was older than that. But, you know, wouldn't surprise me if it happened another time. That was the stupidest thing about the one I've heard of. Because somebody called up, because it was a radio show. Somebody called up and was like, drinking too much water will kill you. And the hosts were like, no, it won't, shut up. And then hung up.
Stay there! I'll come to you! Can you hear me? I'm in here.
There it is. God damn it. And people don't really seem to realise just how much of a delicate balance the human body is. I feel like that probably should have been like more scripted than it was. Because those two enemies just walking into each other during that cutscene was dumb. Or sand clouds.
Farah! I'm coming!
Yeah, but you get what I mean.
Help me.
Delicate balance of a lot of things. Not just water. We go with another dozen. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
Help me.
You know, you'd think the archer would learn to stay away from the enemies. Yeah, it was weird as fuck. more. Like, you'll know when the combat encounter's done because they'll stop letting you move the camera. Yeah, it makes me think of the, one of the ground takedowns you do in the Arkham games. How, like, the idea is that Batman jumps onto the enemy and punches them in the head. But it's way too easy for the body to be the wrong way around. So Batman jumps onto the enemy's head and punches them in the balls. Or the butt, depending on which way they're facing. You see, this is what I really mean of, like, combat encounters that just start going on too long. I mean, you could punch somebody in the head hard enough to knock them unconscious, and that's worrying to begin with. But, like, if you're gonna punch somebody in the balls hard enough to knock them unconscious, then, like, they're probably never gonna be peeing right for the rest of their life. Oh yeah, that's very much the thing. Batman doesn't actively kill people, he just leaves them in situations where they'll die without immediate attention.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
Me. My love. Please don't leave me.
What did you call me?
Oh, just a little bitch boy.
The important
Little bitch
thing
boy,
is,
please don't leave
I
me.
know how we can reach the Tower of Dawn.
Of course, the hourglass. All right, but this time stay with me. And pay
I think
attention
the
because there's
worst for
more
that
chasing after you.
in the Arkham series is probably Origins. Because Origins takes place on Christmas Eve night during a snowstorm. And you'll just leave people with broken bones, unconscious, on rooftops in a snowstorm.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I'm afraid. What if I get into trouble and you have to come chasing after me?
Please.
Do you mean to say you
Yeah, it's not actually the first time they've done something like that either. Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions makes a point during the tutorial, when you're playing as Spider-Man 2099, of he knocks somebody off a rooftop to their death, and Madam Web, like, catches them with, like, psychic dimension powers to make sure they don't die.
I'm afraid. What if I get into trouble?
And they do that specifically to show you, like, no, knock people off the high places, they're not going to die. Meanwhile, the Arkham games are all like, yeah, no, knock somebody off a high place, they won't die, it's fine. But, you know, if you tie them up by a gargoyle, then cut the rope so that they land head first onto a railing and then fall further, then, you know, they'll still be fine, apparently.
sure I'm not slowing you down?
All right, all right.
Shadow of Shadows is fun. I've been wanting to replay that recently. Oh, fuck, it's the library. With its vast mirror puzzle.
Of learning. We must have come out the wrong
Sometimes
side.
doesn't work.
We'll need to go back through the royal palace.
All right then. Let's find a way out.
It's definitely one thing to appreciate with Spider-Man games, how over the years they've made different characters the big bad. You know, unlike Batman, which almost always... Would you fuck off? God damn. Unlike Batman, which almost always has to have the Joker as the main villain. I feel like if it isn't the Joker, then it's probably Ra's al Ghul. And that's it. Those are your main Batman villains, apparently. God forbid Two-Face have some initiative. I remember this encounter taking ages. Here's an idea for her, maybe move. Yeah, I want to read what's going on in chat. Sometimes it gets befuddled by street posts.
Shall I go on?
Yeah, there's a whole thing with Two-Face, though, like in Batman Forever, where they break into Wayne Manor, and Two-Face is like, flip a coin, can I shoot him? You no. But then he just keeps flipping it. Until the coin says he can shoot him. Which feels unfair. And, like, against the spirit. To be fair, like, Batman Forever's got plenty of issues. Although, like, I enjoy Batman Forever. I think it's an entertaining movie. And I think it's a better Batman movie than Batman Returns is. I enjoy a lot of what Batman Returns. Batman Forever is a better Batman movie. There we go. You know what would be neat? A Batman game. No, it's not a bad idea, Teak. Like, really take advantage of the rogues gallery and stuff. And then you can, like, expand it with some of the crazier villains, have some fun with it.
I'll start the story.
Like, it launches with stuff like a Joker levels and Riddler levels, Two-Face, Penguin, yada yada. And then, like, as they expand it with updates and stuff, they add stuff for, like, Man-Bat and Clayface, Mr. Freeze, and eventually just start getting into the wackier villains like the Condiment King and Egghead. Batman Rogue. Yeah, like an actual Batman game. Like, it's been we've not actually had a Batman game since Arkham Knight. Think how long ago that was.
There's a crack.
And then Gotham Knights is just there doing some other shit. Which, I'm not against it for not having Batman, I'm against it for looking like it's pulling the same Marvel
I know she did.
Avengers bullshit.
I didn't dream it. At least, I think I didn't.
Rogue Knight.
It's quite natural, really. Her kingdom's conquered, she has nothing, no one to protect her.
Kite
She
Man.
needs me. I can see it in the way she looks at me. All I'd have to do is reach out and take her hand, and she'd be mine. Why am I talking to myself?
Yeah, it's exactly the kind of thing I was talking about earlier with, like, DC is such a stupid universe. Lean into it. Have fun with it. Recognize that a lot of your characters are fucking dumb. Yeah, we'd only count that as a Batman game, though, because it's by Rocksteady, who previously did the Arkham series. I feel like that's the qualifier. I know, I'm more interested in Gotham Knights than I am Suicide Squad. I'm not that interested in Gotham Knights. Like 75%.
There's something
Yeah, I guess.
Look! It's the same symbol that was on the pillar.
Stay there. I'll come to you.
At some point, I really need to sit down and do Batman the Enemy Within.
It's no use moving the mirror.
Fair play.
There's no light beam.
I can see that.
It's a fair point, too. I feel like Nightwing's been getting the shaft from DC for a while. Like, they acknowledge he exists, and then it's really just to make fun of him. Camera is pissing me off. Yeah, but then they brought him back as Red Hood, and for some reason they're really into that. Oh yeah, Jason Todd's so cool now that he has guns. There's a weird level of hate for Robin just as an idea in like the movie stuff and everything. Like how Christian Bale said that he'd... What about Ace the Bat? Like how Christian Bale said like he wouldn't want to do a Batman movie with Robin in it. As if Robin isn't the other side of Batman's coin. As if Robin isn't an interesting extension of the Batman character himself. Like, even without considering Robin is his own character, Robin does so much good for Batman. And I think you can boil all of that down to one single line in Young Justice, where Wonder Woman questions Batman about why he took Robin in and trained him as a vigilante. and Batman's like, he needed to confront the killer of his parents and stuff like that. And Wonder Woman was like, why? So he could turn out like you, and Batman's response is, so he wouldn't. Like, that specific level of compassion, because it ties into the exact idea of what Batman's supposed to be about. At its base level, Batman is a character who does what he does so nobody else has to live through what he did. And then Robin is a character who had to live through what he did, and Batman tries to make sure that he doesn't end up the same way.
Whoa.
And so what you end up with Robin is a character that humanizes Batman. And for some reason, a lot of people seem to consider that a bad thing.
Love is life. So if you want to live, die in love. Die in love if you want to stay alive.
What's that supposed to mean?
I thought you'd like it.
If you want to be useful, try finding a book that'll tell us how to get out of here.
This isn't that kind of game.
Game? She thinks this is a game. Stay there. I'll come to you.
Yeah, pretty much the idea with Terry McGinnis of a character who could go down the same path Bruce Wayne did, and Bruce Wayne helps him not. Because when it comes down to it, the thing you'll commonly hear in a lot of stuff is that Batman is the most boring character in any Batman medium. Which can be very true. The problem is, a lot of the Batman media then decides, let's focus on the villains, because the villains are more interesting. But you can make Batman a more interesting character by giving him another hero to interact with rather than a villain.
Now what? There was one more symbol. Do you remember? It was in the main hall.
It's an interesting point you bring up, Tig, and it creates the question of, like, if they'd done a Batman cartoon that focused on Dick Grayson. Like, let's be fair, some of the best stuff in the Batman animated series did involve Dick Grayson. Not all the best stuff, because like there was a lot of good solo stuff and stuff focused on other characters as well. Like, a lot of the best stuff did involve Robin in the animated series. Like Robin's Reckoning. Fantastic two-parter. Absolutely. The problem with Superman isn't that he's boring, it's that people don't want to bother to figure out how to write him. And the point of Superman isn't the all-powerful god trying to pretend to be a human. It's the farm boy from Kansas living with all these powers. Which I think is one of the big things that the Zack Snyder movies really got wrong. On top of like things they really. Hey, Kira, how you doing, buddy? Doing here? Ah, yeah, no, Halo Infinite. Everything I've heard about that multiplayer says I'm not going to play that multiplayer. If I'm going to play Halo multiplayer, I'll probably just stick with the Master Chief Collection. You know what it is? It's progression. I'm not into that. Why can't multiplayer just be your single fun matches? Individual stuff for the sake of it. If you're enjoying it, there's nothing wrong with that. Just, I'm not going to play it. You know, I can definitely see that, Teague. It's a good point. It's definitely one of the problems that came about with Justice League. Like, we avoid like the Zack Snyder Justice League for the minute. We start off with just regular Justice League by Joss Whedon. And it opens with the whole thing of like, oh no, Superman's dead, we're now in a world without hope. And the immediate thing with that was always like, at what point did Zack Snyder's Superman embody hope? And you could argue that like, oh, the big blue Boy Scout doesn't have a place in the modern world, and you couldn't make a good story with that. And I would argue, look at how the MCU handled Captain America, who is very much Marvel's big blue Boy Scout. And for the love of God, can we stop having Superman stories where the crux of it is that he's going to turn evil if Lois dies? For fuck's sake. I'm so tired of that as a plot point. A Superman comedy could be good. Could be fun. Like, work it out, maybe have Mr. Mxyzptlk as a main villain. Set the stakes low. Make it a bit fun. Zack Snyder's Justice League is the better version. I think a lot of that is because characters get to... Because it's 4 hours, they get to have the time for characters to be defined and have the motivations and everything. Even then, like, it still didn't need to be 4 hours. Especially that fucking Joker bullshit. No, like, it's not just the comedy that made Captain America work. Captain America in the MCU was still a very earnest character. And it still worked because that's who he was. And so when you get to Endgame and Captain America gets to pick up Mjolnir, you believe it because that's the character they've established. The character that is pure of heart and will not compromise on his beliefs. And so they earn that. And I think with that, like, you follow that idea, and you can end up with a Superman who is justifiably the big blue Boy Scout. The one who has hope. I think that's really the thing. Like, if you want to write Superman without actually bothering to write Superman, comedy is the way to go. I think the problem with DC is like they've got all these characters, and then every now and then they'll be like, "Oh, here's one we could actually highlight a little,"
Find a switch.
What makes you think?
and then
Never mind.
that's all they push for like the next 5 years. Like how they push Deathstroke in everything for years. It's like, yeah, no, Deathstroke's cool, but also could we maybe look at somebody else? There was a similar thing with Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes. They pushed him in so much for so long, and it was kind of cool because he was a very different kind of character. Oh dear, I don't know if you want to say that around Teak, who has justifiable arguments.
Found one. Shall I pull it?
Not yet! Wait till I'm on the platform! Now!
Didn't we have a discussion a while ago about how Deathstroke's actually kind of shit? Which I think for you, your argument was almost entirely that he regularly gets beaten by the Teen Titans, so he's like, oh no, his nemesis is Nightwing when he was Robin, so how could he possibly hang with fully trained Batman? Something like that, I don't remember. It was a while back. He was still overly pushed. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, I think that works. Yeah, like I say, Deathstroke just they pushed him so heavily for so long. It's like my entire problem with Harley Quinn. Like Harley Quinn can be a fun character, but she's everywhere. Which is the same problem I have with Deadpool. Like Deadpool can be a fun character, and then he was everywhere. That is set up.
The gate's open.
Well, it becomes your point, doesn't it? Like, at no point should a team like that really have any trouble with someone like Deathstroke. You just gotta make the writing justify it, and that can be really difficult.
Come on.
Come in, god damn it.
Look, a crack.
Wait, let's see where this corridor goes. Alright, you can take the crack.
See you soon. I'm up here.
Try pulling that lever!
You know what? I think I'm gonna go for the healing fountain first. Out of that.
Oh.
That was kind of funny. That was bullshit.
Do you think I can jump it?
Go on, try. What's the worst that can happen? There you go. I'll meet you on the other side of that gate.
Careful!
You be careful.
Yeah, a little more to the left.
Here I am.
Blades.
I can't open the gate.
And me. Don't mind me, goddammit. Yeah. Ah. I think part of the problem with like the movies as well at this point is like one thing Justice League does that's really bad, I think, and even the Zack Snyder Justice League does it as well. Although admittedly with Zack Snyder's Justice League to a less extent, it's that Superman's just the biggest and the best. Like, Steppenwolf tosses everybody around, and then Superman shows up and Steppenwolf can't do a damn thing. And I think it creates the point of Superman being too powerful. I think it's a bad idea.
I'll start the story from here next time.
Because of mustache. Even in the version without the mustache.
Be careful.
I hope Henry Cavill gets to come back for another Superman movie. Because he deserves like one good Superman movie. Where he gets to actually play Superman. Somebody edit a mustache into. DC should have turned around with that and said, like, fine. Okay, so we're not allowed to get rid of Henry Cavill's mustache for this. So let's do Reborn Superman with the full beard and the mullet. Let's bring the mullet back. It's like, remember in the 90s when Superman had a mullet? That was because when he died, his hair kept growing. You know, except he wasn't really dead, because the death of Superman wasn't a real thing. Damn it. No, as far as I'm aware, he's still in The Witcher. Like, Season 2 is supposed to be coming out, or has just come out, and like he's around the premiere and everything. Don't know why they would. As far as I'm aware, he loves The Witcher. Plus, like, Henry Cavill would be kind of a fool to give up The Witcher, since I think the best thing an actor like that can do is like get big with some movies and then do some TV shows. That's fair enough. You probably just imagined it. Well, there was something I was imagining earlier and I can't remember what it was. Yeah. Like I say, Henry Cavill would be a fool to give it up. Like, the smartest thing an actor can do with that, like, the best thing an actor can really get, is a lead role in an ongoing TV series. Because if you can just get that one TV series that will go for years, and then that can be you set for years. Because it's your regular recurring role and paycheck. And it might not bring in enough as much money at once as a big movie does, but it's continuing work.
I could marry her. After all, she is a Maharaja's daughter. A conquered one, but still. Her blood is royal. Besides, what better way to tame her insolence? It's not so bad for a woman to have a little spirit. It's a challenge!
Yeah, I mean, you've both got points. I mean, I think like one of the best examples of that will probably be like Jensen Ackles with Supernatural. It's like he'd been in stuff before that. He was in Days of Our Lives. He was in Dark Angel, if you remember that. The James Cameron Jessica Alba TV show that definitely wasn't X-Men.
There you are.
Come on. It can't be much further.
And he was in Smallville for a season and was supposed to come back for another season. But then he got cast in Supernatural, so he left and did Supernatural. And then that ran for 15 years. No, Dark Angel. Was he in Alias? I don't know, I never watched Alias. It had Jennifer Garner in.
Behind you.
Whether or not it was long or too long or not, that was 15 years of a very regular paycheck for him. And as an actor, like, can you really do better than that?
Watch out for spikes!
Oh, this sounds interesting, Teak. What was it? You were in the middle of watching Supernatural at one point. You decided to watch Dark Angel. And then you were getting caught up on Smallville. Yeah, because I think it was like season 3 of Smallville, and his mother was played by Jane Seymour.
Look, that's the bridge to the Tower of Dawn.
Yeah, there was again.
Look out! What?
See, you can complain that Supernatural ran too long, and there's good would you fuck off? You can complain that Supernatural ran too long, and there's good reason to say that. But like, if any show ran longer than it really should have, it was Smallville. Smallville should not have been 10 seasons. Smallville probably shouldn't have been 5. The whole thing of like, we're gonna have Clark Kent, but at no point can he be Superman before the end. And so you end up with a case of Superman's entire rogues gallery exists and fights him before he becomes Superman. One of the dumbest fucking things. And then they bring that Clark Kent back for the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover they did with the DC shows. And it's like, oh yeah, how did that end? Oh, he gave up his powers to live with Lois. It's like, wow, so this really is the bitchiest Clark Kent then. The biggest bitch Clark Kent. Spent years moaning about how he just wanted to be normal. And only really stood up when he had to, and then the minute he could stop standing up, he just sat right back down. Absolute fucking hate that Crisis of shit. Smallville was one of those things, like, as an origin story of where Superman came from, not a bad idea. Then it stopped being that. And it was also way too into teen drama. Plus, there was a whole thing, like, for a long time, in its first few seasons, everybody was just, yeah, no, we're a supervillain powered by kryptonite. I'd be kind of down for that, because like there was nothing wrong with the actors. Tom Welling played the role as well as he could given the writing, and Michael Rosenbaum's always been fantastic. For as much as DC loves bringing Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill back to play Batman and the Joker, and every now and then they'll bring Tim Daly or George Newbern back to play Superman, I really wish they'd bring Michael Rosenbaum back more often to play the Flash. But as far as the Indiana Jones reboot idea goes, like we were talking about Indiana Jones earlier. Yeah.
Done. I'll start the
I mean, it had to, didn't it? Like we say, it became Metropolis instead of Smallville. The whole thing of like, will they, won't they, between Clark and Lana definitely lasted too long.
I'll see if I can find a way down.
What was I saying? Like, we were talking about Indiana Jones earlier with the,
There's a staircase. I'll meet you in the courtyard down below.
Be careful on the stairs.
like, how there isn't really any movies that have the same spirit anymore, like the swashbuckling and fun adventures. And how, like, I feel like the last movie like that was probably The Mask of Zorro. Well, you say that, but like DC did Justice League Doom, and they had Barry Allen as the Flash in that, and they made a big thing of bringing back most of the Justice League cast. Kevin Conroy was Batman. I can't remember who was voicing Superman. It was either Tim Daly or George Newbern. They brought Susan Eisenberg back as Wonder Woman, and they had Michael Rosenbaum voice Barry Allen. Because let's be fair, Barry Allen is basically Wally West these days.
I had never set foot inside. Now here I was, myself a prisoner seeking an escape.
Because let's be fair, most of Barry Allen's personality has just been stolen from Wally West. Doom wasn't a bad movie. Doom was fun. I enjoyed Justice League Doom. Definitely not the worst Justice League animated movie they did. I think Throne of Atlantis is absolutely fun. You know, at some point, maybe I'll actually get around to playing Justice League Heroes again. Do that on stream and just like have relevant Justice League conversations. Such a misfire, as opposed to like most of their other animated movies. I enjoyed it for what it was. Although I remember that being like the first time I saw Cyborg as a part of the Justice League. And that's one of the big things that stands out for me in Justice League Doom. I mean, the whole thing of Batman's complete lack of trust in anybody. Yeah, they do kind of, like, skip over that. I think the movie itself is still pretty entertaining. And, like, Claudia Black as Cheetah, yeah, I'm down for that. Like, yeah, I can agree with you on that. The whole Batman's lack of trust thing doesn't really get much of a say out of it. Okay, come on. There we go. Yeah. Like, Cyborg was always, like, the weirdest inclusion in the New 52 to me. Like, oh, we've made Cyborg a founding member of the Justice League. It's like, why? I think even now, Cyborg's still probably more associated with Teen Titans than Justice League. Last of them? Yes, awesome. I was thinking, like, probably a diversity thing, but, like... There's other people you could do who don't already belong to another team, who are also better known as adults. Black Lightning. Just put Jon Stewart in there, you cowards, because he's a far better character than Hal Jordan. What is this obsession with DC always having Hal Jordan represent Green Lantern? For fuck's sake, he is the most boring Green Lantern.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time. Alright, I've decided. I will marry her. I'll tell her the first chance I get. Time we put an end to all this.
See, New 52 didn't need Guy Gardner to be on the Justice League, because most of Guy Gardner's character is that he's a prick. But fortunately, New 52 made everybody in the Justice League a prick. So they didn't need Guy Gardner. If you want to argue diversity, though, there's still only one woman. Like, oh cool, we've thrown a black guy in there. And one woman. Which makes it way, way more obvious that it's diversity more than anything. We'll have one of each. Oh, we were talking about that a while back, weren't we? And that's the thing, like, this whole thing of superhero movies still having to be big blockbusters. When I think one of the smartest things that happened with a bunch of the Marvel movies was that they can be something else. A superhero movie doesn't have to be genred as a superhero movie. I think it's one of the reasons why Captain America the Winter Soldier is one of the best Marvel movies. Because it's a conspiracy thriller starring a superhero. And that's a great idea. And then, of course, there's Logan, which is practically a western.
I'd seen such devices at close range, close enough to touch. Where were the men whose trade it had been to apply the question, to extract the answer their king sought? If indeed there was one. In the end, they had met the same fate as their victims. Guards and prisoners made equal by the sands of time.
Do more with your superhero stuff. Don't just make it big, booming, bombastic superhero stuff. Make it more interesting. I like Diedrich Bader. It was like the big thing when they announced Harley Quinn. I was like, oh yeah, Diedrich Bader back as Batman. It's like, you know what? I'm down for that. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that idea too. Like, getting back to Zack Snyder, like, I watched Army of the Dead a little while back, a few weeks ago on Netflix. It's like, my understanding of it based on like promotional stuff was that it was going to be a heist movie set during a zombie apocalypse. And that sounds fun. I should have realised that it being a Zack Snyder movie, there is no fun. And in the end, it was just a bleak, depressing movie that was honestly just kind of a waste of time to have watched. Kevin Smith He-Man series? Yep. Yeah, I guess like Zack Snyder's in what is it? Army of the Dead gets like a miss from me. Like don't watch it, it's not fun. It's not even really all that enjoyable, and the main crux of the plot hangs on characters being stupidly evil. Which is just so boring. Like, let's ruin everything for the sake of being stupidly evil. If being stupidly evil makes something better, yes. It's why stuff like the Venture Brothers is so fun, because characters being stupidly evil is fun. Like, the Monarch is great in that, when he's being stupidly evil and obsessed with vengeance. Oh, that He-Man Revelations thing. I've seen the trailer for Season 2, and that's it. I didn't even know the trailer for Part 2. It's like, I didn't even know there was a Part 1 or anything. We'll probably have to watch that, because it looked kind of neat. And Mark Hamill is Skeletor I can get down with. Yeah, I think the thing I've been really noticing with this playthrough of Sands of Time is these fights that go on forever are just so much more bearable if you stop paying attention. Alright guys, up against the wall. What, the He-Man series is kind of a trash fire? No, I thought you were recommending it for me. You mind. Oh, that sounds disappointing, Tink. Yeah, maybe I'll be bored one day and just watch it. I'm trying to do a thing right now, like, of when I'm bored and I've just got the time, just stream more. Probably a better use of my time, honestly. Nothing. Ugh.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
It's all right. It's me. It's me.
Ah, check out that big bald line Farah's got across her scalp.
Look, at last we're here. The Tower of Dawn.
See, I think the main thing we've really got to take away from a lot of stuff these days is that kid-friendly is probably the better thing than mature and written for adults. Because far too often that means we can just kill characters off whenever we want. There'll be blood, there'll be violence, there'll be swearing, and the writing will generally be shit. There's definitely a problem DC's had with a lot of their stuff. Oh yeah, no, we can start making our animated features R-rated now. Means we don't have to put any effort into the writing because we can just make characters die and have Superman say shit. Yeah, no, the only other He-Man series I was aware of was She-Ra. Which is a He-Man series. A spin-off, you will count it. I think that She-Ra is actually pretty good, but I'm probably never going to watch it. I don't watch shows anymore.
The Tower of Dawn.
That reminds me, like, I finished watching The Mandalorian recently because I grabbed Disney Plus. Because it was, like, they had an offer on, it was like a month for £2. So I grabbed Disney Plus and I finally got around to watching the final season of the Clone Wars. And like, oh boy, was that mostly a waste of time. I don't know what they were thinking with a lot of that. I'm not touching the camera. Whenever you see the camera doing that, I'm not touching it. Yeah, I watched the final season of the Clone Wars, and I watched The Mandalorian finally and got through both seasons. And like, The Mandalorian was decent, but it's really a case of like, I remember why I don't watch shows anymore. The backdoor pilot for the Bad Batch, it's like, okay, so we've got 12 episodes to finish off the Clone Wars. So they make 4 of them a backdoor pilot for the Bad Batch, which I was interested in the Bad Batch when I saw the trailer for it. The backdoor pilot made me less interested, which, you know, was probably a bad thing on their part. And then the next 4 episodes were, like, they were also supposed to be a backdoor pilot, those sisters that Ahsoka spends time with.
Please.
Like, they wanted to give them their own show as well, but that didn't work out. But ultimately, nothing of real consequence happens in there, and it could be 8 decent episodes of the Clone Wars anywhere else. But knowing that it's the final season, like, they've had a chance to come back and make a season to wrap it up, those 8 episodes feel like a waste of time.
Farah, how long have I been gone?
Gone? What are you talking about?
Never mind.
And then the final 4 episodes are actually the Siege of Mandalore.
Everything is a trap,
You know what, you're actually there for the final season 4. Oh? I know Bad Batch is supposed to be like a continuation of that. What's the other one you talk about? Rebels?
That was easy.
Too easy. You know, not everything is a trap.
Right, so this is it, the hardest combat encounter in the game. I'm going to assume one of the ones you talk about would be Season 6. The cut down season. And what would be the other one? What's the one on Netflix? Right, so was season 5 the one on Cartoon Network then? Out the fucking way. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like the Siege of Mandalore and the Clone Wars final season was decent stuff. Like they should have done more interesting stuff with the other 8 episodes than 2 backdoor pilots and, let's be fair, uninteresting plots. 2 uninteresting arcs.
Come on, hurry!
Like, I get they'd already put the Darth Maul escape into a comic, Son of Dathomir, that was originally going to be, I think, in season 6.
Nearby. I can feel it.
Feel it how?
I can't explain it.
And then there was the book that they did to wrap up Asajj Ventress's storyline, which was also going to be a point in the Clone Wars at some point. I get they'd already done that. But, like, the Bad Batch arc and the Sisters arc are both so boring. Mandalorian was decent.
Done.
I've debated watching some of the Marvel stuff, but like I don't care. I don't care enough to watch shows. I mean, to be fair, you got to give D. Bradley Baker credit for using one voice to voice like dozens of characters and still making them feel unique. Like that is talent. That is talent.
Hourglass. Look out!
And there we go.
You did it! Take the dagger. Strike it into the center of the dome.
My father's army sacked your palace, captured you as a slave.
What?
You have every reason to hate me.
What are you talking about?
Now you want me to trust you.
Go on! There's no time!
Give me the dagger.
faced my enemy, I had looked into his eyes, and I had lost everything. A tomb.
You were there. The dagger was in your hand. Why did you hesitate? You think you're cleverer than everybody, but you're just like the rest of them. Those soldiers, all they can do is fight, destroy. Why did I trust you? Why didn't you trust me? Ow!
Sorry.
Where are you?
I'm right here.
Hold my hand. Don't let go. I didn't mean what I said.
No, you're right. All that's happened is my doing. I wanted honor and glory. I brought this on us.
You are brave and good. If this tomb is to be ours, at least the dagger will be buried with us. And we are together. What is it?
Nothing.
You're trembling.
I just don't like close spaces. There must be some way out of here.
When I was small, my mother taught me a secret word. She said that when I was afraid, all I had to do was speak that word, and a magic door would open. I've never told that to anybody.
I can see why. It's the most childish thing I've ever heard of. What was the word?
Kakolukiam.
Kakolukia. You did that, didn't you? Farah?
Yeah, Clone Wars started off as like decent enough, unremarkable. Really, would be the best way to put it. Enjoyable, like kids stuff. Well, as it went on, like it really started to develop and become something worth watching. Exploring the politics of the Clone Wars, how a lot of the Separatists were idealists and stuff like that, being manipulated by the Sith and people at the top who were just evil. Stuff like that. I think the point where it really hits is season, like partway through season 3. There's a specific point, I think, where Dooku leaves Asajj Ventress for dead. And that kicks off this big arc focusing on her revenge. And from that point on, the Clone Wars is fantastic.
Where are you?
Oh, isn't it beautiful?
Isn't what beautiful? Where are you?
I haven't finished Rebels. I got to the end of season 2, and it's like I was there for Ahsoka. And once Ahsoka left that at the end of season 2, I was just kind of like, I'm not interested in the main characters.
What are you doing?
I'm looking for
I know
you.
that at some point she does come back, but
I'm right here.
I don't know if I really care enough to go back to it.
Farah!
If only we could stay here.
Farah?
Shall we take a bath?
What are you talking about? Where are you? Where are you?
Take me in your arms.
I don't see you.
Am I really gonna have to watch Rebels now?
What the... All right, this is getting ridiculous. Farah?
Just take me in your arms.
Who are you talking to?
Why do you act so distant?
Farah? Can you hear me?
Don't you want to touch me?
Farah!
There we go.
It's beautiful.
This part of the story never made any sense to me.
Come
Like,
on.
where is this place? What's going on? And then we wake up back where we started.
Was it real, that magical cavern? If it was a dream, then it was a dream we both shared. I know it was. Farah. Oh no.
Like I mentioned before, I think like Farah's medallion is what she has that keeps her from being infected by the sands, and she just left it for the prince while she took the dagger. Also, I don't have a sword now. Good thing the monsters won't chase me into this puzzle room.
Oh no.
Yeah, it doesn't reflect like it really should. There we go, that'll do. Puzzle always fucking. And the solution's always way simpler than I'm making. Every time. Every goddamn time. Markings on the floor for where they're supposed to go. Idiot. This should be a fun one, Titanium. I mean, you remember what happens when we get the dagger back, right? Alright, let's go kill these guys and get a save point. With the most powerful sword in the game. Yep. This save point is going to be integral because now that we don't have the dagger, like, screwing up in the platforming is fatal. So yeah, that's what the visions are telling us now. Like, you don't have the dagger? Well, the first time you try platforming, you're gonna die.
I'll start the story from here next time.
Ugh. This is some of the trickier platforming in the game, too. There's really a thing with this, like, before the prince hitting an enemy with his foot, not a big deal. Now, because the sword is an instant kill, you don't want it to be kicking enemies. So, you know, that's kind of a pain. Alright. all of these as we pass them because we want the save point. %.
Done. I'll start the story from here.
Almost at
next
the
time.
end. Want this because, like, in the minute it kind of stings you with the water fountains, from what I remember. I'm pretty sure they do. Like this, not a bad idea. You know, it would be nice if you'd go in the direction that I pointed. Yeah. Oh, there's a water fountain. That's not bad then. Honestly, you'll have seen it throughout most of the game. The camera keeps screwing up my directional inputs times. Plus, the fixed angle camera can really be a problem at times. Trying to figure out where you need to go, especially during this section where you only have the one shot before you die.
She must be using the dagger. Farah, be careful! Don't use up all the sand!
Yeah, the idea there is that Farah's using the sands to sneak past. There are a few powers with the dagger that I never showed off, because they're mostly useless. Like slow motion. Which makes everything move in slow motion, including you. So it's basically useless to me. There was the thing in the elevator, the power I used there, Mega Freeze.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time.
Which I never mentioned, even when I used it. Like, the dagger gives you a few powers, like, most of them are just kind of worth. No, most of the powers you get for this are pointless. Let's think like slow motion returns in Warrior Within and works the exact same way. Slows everything down, including you. It's like the combat isn't so difficult that slowing it down a notch entirely would really help me. But that's not even it. Combat isn't so timing based. Is really what I should be saying. You might be thinking of the Mega Freeze power, which is what I used in the elevator, which lets you just zoom between enemies and kill them instantly. That takes up all the power tanks. It's possible in Two Thrones. It's been a long time since I've done that. Because I've just been like, hey, I should go through the trilogy again in all. And then I did Prince of Persia, I did Sands of Time like 3 times and actually continue with it. Fuck off. You can go higher. I think we're past like the dangerous platforming section. In time. That's the thing, isn't it? Like the Tower of Dawn that you're looking to get to for like most of the game. And then you get to it, and you go up an elevator to get to the top. So now this part, they make you climb up the actual tower, all of it. I'm gonna blame Titanium for that.
Wait, that's not right.
That's the first time I've failed this entire platforming sequence in a long time. Now, the thing I'm really pissed off about having to deal with is just the bats again. I absolutely despise these fucking things. They're just such a boring, tedious threat. Wait for them to get close enough to hit them. And then there's times like that where you'll hit them, but they'll still get you for some reason. And they'll just keep coming back until there's 3 or less of them. I've never managed to kill all of them. I think every time we've done it in this game, there's been 3 when they've run away. Previous playthroughs, I usually get it down to 2. Not that it really matters, like, they'll just leave when there's 3 or less of them. There you go, 2. I think part of the problem there is the lack of any kind of audio cue. Which is particularly strange. I'm sure there's usually an audio cue for.
Wait, that's not right.
Thank you for small mercies. There'll be a save point here. The real trick to dealing with that while you've got this sword is don't hold a direction. Because if you do, the prince is more likely to kick in that direction. But if you don't, then he's just going to attack with the sword. Alright, we get into this checkpoint, and then this is the final sequence platforming game. Then we'll be good. There's
Done.
one more save point right
Start
at the
the scene
top.
from here next time.
But we're almost there. Yeah, not that far to go now. Alright. I think the worst that we have left is another wall jumping sequence to go down. I think that's it. Feels like too far. Is not. Oh, I'm sorry, a wall jump sequence to go up. What am I thinking? Hope that camera screw doesn't get you. Yeah, it's crazy just how much variety that one simple addition ended up adding to the way you traverse things. It's like having Mega Man 3, where the new mechanic they added was sliding, and how that changed up the level design immensely, just that one thing. Probably should be looking before I leap a little more, shouldn't I? Go. And that is all the platforming done.
Farah, no!
What you say? That you only felt well just because you did what you said. Then it's all for the best, cause it is. I like that little bit of storytelling though, like, he tries to turn back time immediately, but she's used all the sands. And we can't just get back more sands to, like, really quick to try and revive her, because the sword we've got doesn't leave them knocked down. It just takes them out. So we can't get more sands here. And yeah, it's a really neat bit of storytelling, I think. Fucking come on!
No, that didn't happen.
I don't think they're supposed to knock each other down right now. Oh, fuck. And the last save point of the game.
Done. I'll start the story from here next time. Bravely I had fought and slain my enemies. Honor and glory were mine. But though I fight until the desert sands themselves were red with blood, I could not bring back the dead.
The way I see it, Farah, you're gonna build a time machine, you gotta do it with some style.
The girl is unimportant. Give me the dagger, and I will give you power. Eternal life will be yours.
Live forever, when those I loved are dead and I to blame. I choose death.
I want a screen cap of the Vizier's face there when he turns away.
be afraid. This belongs to you.
The Dagger of Time. But it is locked away within my father's treasure vault. How?
Most people think time is like a river that flows swift and sure in one direction. But I have seen the face of time, and I can tell you, they are wrong. Time is an ocean in a storm. You may wonder who I am and why I say
I
this.
think more than fully clothed, it's weird to have him with the hat again.
A tale like none that you have ever heard. No further. I am the sun, and that is why I have come. To warn you and your father to arrest this treacherous vizier before he betrays you and brings ruin on us all. His signal is a flaming arrow shot into the air. Prevent him, and my father's army will know the traitor has been unmasked. They will turn back.
A wild tale indeed. I have a simpler version. A Persian soldier, lusting for glory, entered the chambers of the Maharaja's daughter and was slain by me.
Oh no, the old man with tuberculosis is going to kill me.
For your own safety, I suggest you flee.
And this is the second boss fight of the game. And more than anything, it's just kind of tedious.
I will handle this intruder.
Because he can just block you.
What sorcery is this? Stop this at once.
My lady, he came here to abduct you. Surely you do not believe him.
He will betray you! All will happen as I have foretold.
Yeah, back down to like the earliest sword.
Do not forget, he's a Persian soldier.
What I told you is no story. It happened. I mean...
You see, this is slow motion, and this is exactly why I never used it. Yeah, that'd be an interesting question, Titanium. I honestly hate this fight. It's such a bad end to the game. It's part of the problem with this generation of gaming anyway, like the need to have boss fights.
Your exertions are most amusing.
When the game really doesn't need them. You know, let's just do this again.
Let him be brought before my father. He will judge. Vizier, I have commanded you to stop. Do you disobey?
I've taken orders long enough from a senile fool and a sniveling brat. Your father was a great warrior in his youth, or so he would have the world believe. A pity his son does not take after him. And then again, perhaps father and son are alike. It would appear that both shared a taste for easy play. Did you really think you could defeat me?
Careful. Don't tire yourself.
It's the thing that games have become more comfortable with in the HD generation. Having final confrontations be cinematic rather than gameplay. which can feel disappointing, but like it's better than this. Like, the worst part of this is the feeling of, like, am I doing this right? Am I doing something wrong? Which you never really know. All you can do is keep hitting him and hope you're doing it right. The best final boss fight in Zelda history has always been Ocarina of Time. They've never topped that. Not even because it's difficult, just because of how cool it was. I love this though. Like, we just beat the shit out of him. And watch what his response is.
And so it ends. How will the Maharaja feel when he finds his only daughter slain by the son of his enemy? Do you have any last words you wish me to communicate to the princess before I kill her? Words of love?
Like, he can barely stand. And he's like, yeah, let me talk shit to you. And that's Sands of Time. Wind Waker's final boss isn't bad, but like, I think the best was always Ocarina of Time. And presentation-wise, it was just unbelievably amazing.
Then it's true. He was a traitor.
Take this. Return it to your father's treasure vault. Guard it well.
I owe you thanks. But why did you invent such a fantastic story? Do you think me a child, that I would believe such nonsense? I said I owe you thanks. You presume too much. Such a fantastic story. Do you think me a child, that I would believe such nonsense?
You're right. It was just a story.
Wait! I don't even know your name.
Just call me Kakulukia.
Honestly, I like it as a case of, like, subverted expectations. Because you can understand why he did that. He has the feelings built up over the course of the entire game, which never happened for her. So it's understandable. But then he undoes it so that she never feels like he did it, and it never really happened, which, yeah, is fine. Like, he doesn't take the opportunity to do it again, which, you know, is fine. He made a mistake and he understands that, and then it ties in with a greater narrative that Two Thrones introduces of always trying to undo his mistakes with the sands. Yeah, Sands of Time, like, it's a good game. It's got some issues here and there. It's definitely not, like, the best game ever. But it is really good, especially when you remember that it is what basically invented the whole thing of parkour in video games. I don't think parkour was really a thing in gaming until this. This is what kind of really started it. Thank you, Teak. And like from this point on, like it was a really good system. It was well designed, and they just refined it in later games. Yeah, the true ending for Warrior Within requires you to get all the life upgrades, which unlocks the water sword, which you can then use to fight the Dahaka at the end. And that fight isn't fun. That's not a fun fight. Thank you, Titanium. Who knows, maybe next week I'll do Warrior Within. I don't know, probably not. But having done this for the stream, it does open up the option for me to do Warrior Within. If I do that, it's going to be on game. Because, like I say, the weird thing, the only Prince of Persia games backwards compatible on Xbox One are Sands of Time and Forgotten Sands. And I think Prince of Persia Classic might be as well, which was the original game remade with the graphics of Sands of Time. The Kailina fight was kind of awkward. I remember a bunch of the bosses being awkward in Warrior Within. Not as bad as that, but like, not great. I barely played the Forgotten Sands. I think I've put like an hour into it over like the course of years. I never finished it. I have no idea. I remember it made a big thing of like big combat encounters. You'd be up against like 20 guys at once. And I played it and I was like, this is really not a good combat system. Yeah, let's take a quick look at the original Prince of Persia. What? Is it not supported in the backwards compatibility? Like, you guys are seeing this how I'm seeing this. Turn on lights on first. Let me quit and then restart it. Well, let's take a look at this then. Nope, it's just gonna keep doing that. That's weird. Yeah, I do like that playing original Xbox games on Xbox One has that as a thing. That's really neat. Yeah, let's take a quick look. Widescreen. There we go. Oh yeah, that one's on there as well. I completely forgot about that Prince of Persia. I never finished it. That is weird. It's there, but it's not supported. Huh. Yeah, I completely forgot about this Prince of Persia. At some point, I want to sit down and do Perfect Dark Zero. Not Perfect Dark Zero, Perfect Dark. Yeah, that's the one with the claw gauntlet. You use it to like claw down walls and stuff. This is the one I was talking about. The game they made to tie in with the movie that's set between Warrior Within and Sands of Time. Rayman 3 HD. I got a bunch of stuff on here I should probably play. I never finished this one. I played it for like a couple of hours. It seemed fine. I just never finished it. This one I put like an hour into and just stopped. Like I say, its big thing was combat against large groups of enemies. And didn't really enjoy it. I forgot I have Red Faction 2 on here. Shadows of the Damned, I need to get to that at some point. I want to do the Silent Hill HD collection at some point. At all these Sonic games. That's actually a point I was thinking about. Like all the Sonic games that are backwards compatible on Xbox One. I think the Sonic racing games are as well. Sonic the Fighters is. I know that, and it's like what? Sonic 06 isn't. Sega delisted that. Never put it back on. Which honestly is a coward's move. But I was realizing it the other day, like I'm really surprised they never put Sonic Heroes on backwards compatibility for this. Which is a real shame, because like I like Sonic Heroes. It's got problems, but I like Sonic Heroes. So when we eventually come back for the Sonic Marathon 2, The Quickening, uh, we'll be starting with the GameCube version of Heroes. It's gonna be horrifying. Sonic Marathon 2, The Quick. There's KOTOR 2. Neo Metal Sonic was a cool idea. Like, it should have been like the final boss. Like, sure, Metal Madness and Metal Overlord, fine. And then, like, you take those down, and then it's just like, kind of like the final battle of Final Fantasy VII, where after Bizarro Sephiroth and Safer Sephiroth, it's then Cloud versus Sephiroth. And it should have been like Sonic versus Metal Sonic. Yeah, at some point I want to do Silent Hill HD collection. I did 1, 2, and 3 last year for Halloween. And I did mention at some point I wouldn't mind going through the HD collection just to see just how much worse they are. I completely forgot I have Metal Slug 3 here. Huh. Oh boy. Like we'll get back into Sonic Team's competence when we do the Sonic Marathon 2, The Quickening. Which I've decided is going to be its official name, Sonic Marathon 2, The Quickening. I've played through Mirror's Edge a few times. Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I was talking about earlier with the Assassin's Creed to Prince of Persia thing. Mirror's Edge works and it's really fun. It could have done with a little extra polish, but as it is, it's a really fun game with a focused path system. Mirror's Edge Catalyst goes open world, and it is like the worst mistake. I gave up on that game because I was so bored of just running through the same area, get from place to place. Meanwhile, Mirror's Edge 1 never repeats itself. Alright, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a short break, hit the bathroom and stuff, and then I'll come back in like 10-15 minutes, and I think I'll play Jedi Outcast for a bit. But this is going to count as the end of the Prince of Persia stream. So I want to thank everybody for joining the stream. I always really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to everybody in the chat. Chat is always the best part of the stream. Titanium, Teak, Kira, and I think that was it. Yeah. And thanks so much for keeping me company during the Prince of Persia playthrough, guys. Chat is always the best part of the stream. Like I say, back in about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to go hit the bathroom, grab another drink. And then we'll do Jedi Outcast. So, I'll see you in a few minutes.